as we possibly can. Well, the fastest way to get to the end zone is a straight line. So there's not a whole lot of setting up blocks. It's more trying to run as fast as you can straight ahead. So like this clip, I always thought kind of illustrated that a little bit, that, man, if you can get vertical right now, you got a chance to split the defense. And obviously, if it's too high, it makes it a little bit easier. And obviously, if you got somebody that's super fast, it makes it even better as well. But man, our whole mission in life is to win the inside game and try to do that through inside footwork. And you'll see as we go through it some why that makes sense for us. I do think there's some certain advantages that for our guys help a lot. The first, man, the O-line always knows where the ball's going, right? Somebody said earlier, and it is all about it, man, you're trying to stay between yourself and the defender and the ball. And I think Coach X said it, and that's what you're doing. And we can, even as we get good at it, know how we can force the running back where we want him and keep the defender away from him. I think, you hear it every single time you click on one of these things about staying square. Man, I feel like we can stay as square or more. I don't know why I was making this thing. It said more square wasn't a word. You had to use square, but you stay as more square in the run game than anybody else. Yeah, I think that's probably the secret to the success. We can use the same techniques on a lot of different play types. Like you'll see how it just kind of all evolves. And really, when you think about it, there's a lot of combinations and gap schemes and things that you'll do where you step your inside foot first, and man, it just kind of builds a bunch of reps of doing the same thing over and over and over. I do think it creates a physical mindset for the whole line. Like, man, we know where the ball's going. Everybody that we play knows where the ball's going. And it really is a battle of wills of who go win inside. And you'll see some really, really bad ones on tape today, and you'll see some pretty decent ones as well. I think because of the path back and where he's heading, we get to the line of scrimmage quick. We eliminate negatives, which is always, a big thing that you chart and try to be really good in the run game with. It helps us be able to put the back on different positions so that we can read an edge and kind of use defenses that try to game plan your back that way, where we get to game plan them. And it fits with tempo, man. When you play fast, when in doubt, you hammer. And that's what we call our inside footwork. Go vertical, and you get a chance where you can go and figure it out. There's really 4 main blocks we use when we're doing this. And the one I'm going to focus on the most is probably our hammer footwork. I'm going to show the other 4, and then really in a game, I'm just trying to figure out ways to piece these same blocks together and make the scheme look a little bit different and mirror dress it. And I don't know if that's a word either, but it's one thing about me as a math major. So when you listen to my actual speaking, it's not real good. But all that being said, hammer footwork. How we're going to do is, man, we're going to take a 4-inch lateral step, our inside foot. We're going to take our second step. We're going to go with the crotch. We're going to try to rip our outside hand to the belly button, to the sternum of that dude. Use our inside hand as, like some guys talk about, as a catch hand. It's kind of our power hand, and also as a defense for long arms and different things like that. And man, go win and drive the inside number, and try not to turn unless he turns you. And that's the main base of who we are. So if you're watching this clip, man, both tackles are going to hammer, and then we'll get into it. But you'll see it's that 4-inch lateral step. We're going to try to take our second step to the crotch. I wish both of them with our outside hand would start a little bit lower, but where they end up in that fit and trying to drive vertical and go win, because everything we want to do is get this way and get the back going vertical and almost like a big ass quarterback sneak, really, every single play. The next thing that we talk about a ton is a big bite. It really, don't know why I call it a big bite, probably because Wick used to say a lot, but it's your standard drop your inside foot on 45 and go drive like hell. You may end up using it where you're a tackle versus a 4-eye or a guard versus a 2-eye. You may use it in a combo where you're scooping the nose to the B backer, or you're being to the B backer. That big bite's kind of what we're about, and it's kind of the next main block. I won't talk as much about it, but like if you're watching the right tackle, and this was us just running insert, bring the tight end. People run a lot of it with counter. We did with insert a couple times, it's pretty good. But trying to get on 45 and then engage my hips and go drive and try to see if I can't run a mud hole through his ass. And same thing, it's just a little bit farther. Sometimes we'll shuffle or gallop. Sometimes we'll run into it depending on the nose. And my right guard, I'd love for him to gain a little bit more ground and that foot to hit on 45. But I do think in game of football, like you're battling to be as technically sound as you can be, but also to play as violent and fast as you possibly can. But that's kind of a big bite, think about, I'm going to use this as an example too, as we keep going through hammer, but man, this shoot a deuce or whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And it ain't perfect by nail, but it's still stepping with your inside foot, still trying to drive your second step into the ground. I think that's part of the reason, again, the hammer piece of it makes sense for us. That's a big bite on deuce, or at least the way I describe it and what we try to drill every day. I think Alex talked about it. Gallop, people we call it a shuffle, just because somebody else did at some point. But that's the next thing we're going to use a ton. We're a little different, like our base way. If there's something in the gap, we're going to big bite it. And if there's nothing in the gap when we're comboing, we're going to shuffle. And don't need to really teach the technique because everybody's taught it so much, and it's not the main reason I'm here. Wanting to talk to you today, but like, man, if you watch Nell here, this first one where he's at left tackle, where he's galloping, like, man, try to gain a little bit on that first one. Like I heard Atkins, and I try to make contact with both my feet in the ground. He uses his left, kind of load him up, and then man can go use his hips and dent some gun. But that's the next thing we'll always talk about. And the last thing's pulls. And this is the first part of me screwing up, trying to do this all by myself, or doing this myself. I didn't download the tape to bring this on the road with me quite as good as I should have. So maybe it'll work out, because then everybody else will do a better job of coaching the pulls. I thought their drills were pretty dang good. But and when we pull, if it's first level defender, we're going to open pull. Second level defender, we're going to skip pull. Maybe, depends on your athletic ability. And Nell sometimes was just better to just let that sucker open and run. I do believe the older I get, man, trying to bottle a player into what you think is right, technique wise, isn't always the best option, man. You got to adjust for them. You got to let them be football players and give them the chance to do things a little bit differently. And sometimes you learn a better way to do it. We're still the same old deal with, you pull left, you hit left, pull right, you hit right. The only thing I've talked about a little bit differently now is on contact. We talk about throwing uppercuts, and I stole that from Eck, or special teams coordinator, but we don't do a great job of it, but I try to teach swinging both my arms at the point of impact, so I can almost put that guy into a clamp or a vice and hold him in there for just an extra second. And then obviously, man, as you pull, stay as tight as you can and get as vertical as you possibly can. I used to, back in the day, had a couple of guards that could freaking pull and roll and go run through your skull. JC, probably one of my favorite players of all time. I wish he would go run and be a lot more violent at point of contact, but man, he is trying to throw his uppercuts. He is trying to hit right, pull right, hit right, and go finish on the right side of it, right? Then, obviously, you want to try to go push the pile and have fun, and try to play the game the right way. Same thing with Spraggy. I heard Alex say it, so I'm not going to touch on it a ton, but man, we're fighting to get our hat inside. I do like almost grabbing hold of my arms like that. I think it just helps maintain the block. I'm not going to keep it there forever and get a holding call, but at least initially when I pull with speed, it makes it a lot easier. And then obviously the skip pull here with Nell, man, all we talk about is whenever I do make that decision is getting as tight and turn vertical as I possibly can. So those are the four main blocks we do. And then what I had planned was to watch a whole ton of tape from the years and let you see how it all ties together. I am going to show how we drill some of it a little bit heavier on the hammer footwork part, because I feel like that's in a lot of ways a little bit different than most guys do. Not necessarily, but at least talk about it. So like for us every single day, these are super fancy chutes that we use. We got some PVC pipes with some duct tape on them. I did at one point Phil Lodeholt, who may be one of the best human beings on earth. Got to work with him at UCF, and man, he said somebody he played for at some point used circles for where your feet land, and man, thought it was a really good idea. So that's how we do our shoots. But we're trying to hit that 4-inch lateral. Our second step's going to the crotch. I do think you want to make sure you don't go. If you lose a little ground, it's not the end of the world. I think a lot of times when people try to do this, and I did early on and had to learn the hard way, you really don't want to gain ground with that first one. I think it just causes you to overextend with your second. But that's how we train the hammer, and we're doing it every day. I did like this, talked about it a little bit. A lot of times with like 4-down quarters teams, you get the defensive ends to play with a long arm into, and over the years and trying to get better at it, but talk about using that inside hand, that clamp hand, catch hand, whatever you want to call it, defense weapon, to be able to lift that arm off. I thought that was pretty good by the tackle, trying to use it to do that. And again, you can see we're probably a little bit too extreme on the verticality of the boards. Man, want them to be able to feel it. I did like this clip because you can watch the right tackle, and man, his first step, he loses a little bit. I'm okay with it. I wish it was a little bit more lateral, but is fighting, is trying to get that right hand from that lift into that guy's shoulder pads and actually lift and get strong with him. I think that's really good. Spraggy Bear, on the other hand, man, we can go back and we get to watch Indy, like, man, your first step, you're losing too much ground, right? You can lose a little bit, but you can't lose that much. And man, your hat, where it's going, you don't want to try to go bite his ear. You want to stay on that inside number and drive through. And I think, funny enough, just watched with them Andy Hex, Cool Clank video about cracking the walnut. And here's old Spraggy Bear trying to crack the walnut. He just did a little bit late in life there, but thought that was really pretty neat. Again, watching Danger here. This would be after we go through it with the hammer. We will try to scrape paint, if you will, like finish. It is all about that race to that point and keeping the defender to cross in your face. And about to watch a whole lot of bad clips of us not doing that. And if there's one thing that, man, I wish I could get done a lot better is getting guys to finish and win and not letting them cross their face. Every day we do this, just try to set that point of emphasis for centers, guards, tackles, all those. Even for the guards, man, it's just, can I win that race from the initial try to lift, and then it's a sprint, a strain stay between my man. Crowther wise, do this for the tackles more than the guards. Again, it's not perfect, but you'd imagine Nell here's a right tackle, and he's trying to step left, right, and talk about lifting that hand and using the Crowther where they can get used to using it and lift. Like, I wish JJ wasn't as tight there with his arm, but we're trying to get to where we can lift it up and feel that movement. Same thing if like Sprague's the right guard, like his hammer step's not great here. Ollie's a little bit better on this side of it, but where they can practice 1-2 and then actually lift and bring their hips and drive through it. That's kind of the next phase of how we try to practice it, try not to fall on the sled. And then obviously, man, we'll just put a guy across from us and step inside and try to drive our inside foot. This one of our true freshmen, and just was trying to get him a little bit more rep wise, and not bad for young, but man, again, like everything in life is to be here. Man, don't turn my shoulders, don't end up on the outside. That's the last place I want to be. Then fortunate that get to do some stuff for the defense, and man, you can see like JJ here, right, left, good with his left arm, like trying to drive that path and go in, shoot, man. I think that's a pretty good one. Same thing here with Danger. I love the lift at the end of it and trying to strain through it. It gets a little bit sped up versus the defense. I think it's awesome because they get a little anxious because of how fast it's happening. So you get to force, man, you got to step with your left foot, you got to go through it. This guy that had to learn to change over, and footwork's not great, right? But the path and the lift, like, man, I love that right arm and just seeing the defense starting to get those shoulders bent back. And even though I'm losing right here, man, there's gonna be a lot of clips on tape because of that back and getting the ball and just sprinting this way. It's actually a win for us. I'd love for it to last longer, but man, it'll make sense. We kind of get through it. Same thing here. Sprague's not that ass wasn't in the way here, but the 1-2, like that's the shoots, that's the Crowler, that's everything we're trying to do. That's a great right hand where it's at. Tries to press the very end of it, fighting his ass off. Shoot, man, that's got a chance there.
Coach, before you move on, we did have a question pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob asked if you will use a hammer footwork versus a wide 5 when he's not aligned on the body.
Yeah, man. So for young guys, they really don't have a choice. They got to. What we'll do though is adjust the hammer. So if it's a normal 5, it's 4 inches. If he's wide, we can talk about picking it up, putting it down. If you're a seasoned, old vet and know the difference between when a guy's trying to bait you and not bait you, I'll let him go ahead and step with a play side foot if he's super wide. But I think early on you want to be trained in stepping this way and not give those guys a get out of jail free card, if that makes sense. The big bite, man, we do. Abe's brought this with him, but we'll put bungees between their ankles. And man, again, it's like if you had 2-eye or 4 or whatnot, and I'm trying to step inside and bring my hips, land on that 45 knee inside my ankle, kind of like that 4-eye block you saw Nell do before. We'll do it with or without the bungees. Like I like JJ better here. His 1-2 probably a little long with his second step, tight gripping and lifting. Nell, I wish was a little bit more truly striking with his hands and be able to lift with his hips there. But that's how we drill it versus the Crowler. And then, man, we'll also use the hand shields. And typically when we're doing this, talk about more of a 4-eye and a 2-eye, just because we know where the back's going to end up. Getting really, really strong with our outside hand. I wish that like here, JJ, I'd love for his right hand to actually pull as he throws that left hand and tries to push him in the gap. After his 5th step, we talk about having like 5 angry steps, man. Like try to get 5 in the ground, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down that 5th one. That's when you're going to start trying to throw him, force him in the gap. But I would rather pull my inside, almost use like a torque type deal. And again, just versus our defense, same thing, really pretty good replaced by old Sprags there. And man, trying to put feet in the ground and kind of translate some force from the ground through the defender there. Wish he would, again, use that left hand kind of, if the ball is being run, like pull him here and push him there. That'd be the ultimate on it. As far as shuffle goes, man, or gallop, same thing. We use the bungees to kind of teach them to step for that first one. It probably doesn't let you load that gallop step as much as you want to, but I'm doing it trying to focus on actually gaining ground with that first step and trying to keep the knee inside their ankle when we're doing it, and then trying to have 2 cleats in the ground when movement happens to me. If it doesn't, man, I'll go knock it. We'll simulate with a backer, like, shoot, man, if he comes off, I got to keep it lifted and kind of maintain that block like I'm feeling the double lead and kind of keep their eyes on the backer. So do it with and without bungees, and not really reason one to talk, kind of show a little bit of what we do. Man, and we'll go down the line and simulate where it comes right into us or not. And again, try to inside out where we're trying to go win. Man, this would be like a guard where 0 hits to them, and I'm getting 2 cleats to the ground right at the point of impact and driving. Then when we want to try to knock the hips, there's nothing in the gap, we'll step, shuffle, and we'll try to hit a medicine ball and climb up and go fit. Pulls, like I said, I kind of screwed this up, so there's not a lot of really good tape because I didn't bring the right thing with me, but we'll try to simulate, man, what's happening with the edge where it's a first puller or tackle blocking down or whatnot, and then just emphasize staying tight and getting vertical on it. And used to have some other clips of it, but we'll use these two and it'll be all right, man. But when we skip, and man, it's like right there, it got logged. I'm trying to stay tight. I love like JJ there sticking his right foot and getting a vertical through the defender and having to actually lower his pads a little bit right when he's making that decision. So the last thing we'll do, and I do think the effort piece of it probably trumps all of it. And man, problem with watching a lot of game tape here in a few minutes is you have to put on what the good with the bad. So we try to play as hard as we can. There's gonna be some stuff that isn't real good, but hopefully we'll continue to get better, and I'll do a better job as a coach. But man, we'll do an effort drill like this Snell at left, where really all it is, and it's just seeing how long I can maintain and strain and last and win on a block. And I do on this one particularly. I know I've seen a lot of guys where they got a lot of people going at a time. I kind of like the eyes to be on you for this one. It takes some time. It kind of sucks that you lose some time here, but man, everybody gets to watch where you actually will go pour it out for the team or where you'll cower down. Like just gives me a chance to kind of move around and exercise a little bit too. But it is, if you can't go battle and strain, just fight somebody to the bitter end, man, probably not going to be a really good offensive lineman. And if, like, man, you're not watching the drill happen and seeing where your teammate will go pour it out for you, then you got issues too. Just a couple examples in practice, and we'll actually get into the scheme piece of it. Like, man, been drilling it and getting to see it show up on practice. Like, thought this is a great clip from this spring. Like, you see Danger go left, right. Man, he is trying to lift that right hand, uses his left hand to get the arm from the D end off. And then here's 2 guys that were new and what they look like when they first started trying to do hammer footwork, where they're getting turned and they're not able to stay square. And man, it looks really, really bad. We got a lot better late, but thought that was a good clip of it. Again, this is Danger over here on the left side this time, but again, trying to free that arm with his inside hand. Cade, who's Carolina now, fighting and straining to go win on the inside number. Like that to me is, you hope you get some drills and it shows up in practice and it shows up in the game. Same thing, this really good knock by Coop, man. Doing the shuffle with the gallop, but I heard somebody talking about the hip, man. Yeah, if we can freaking break your hip and try to just destroy that thing, that's what we're going to try to do, especially as heavy as those 2 eyes and 3 start playing on your guards. We're going to try to knock that little piss out of you. Wish, again, Sprags probably do a better job of pulling with his right and throwing with his left and finishing it off. But, man, I think it's, pretty good there. Get to see JJ here trying to fight and strain on the path. Like, I think that's pretty good on that piece of it. I liked this clipping and got a lot better as we went for John here, but what a great example of, if I'll use that right hand to take off the long arm, man, that guy will just go falling right where he wanted to go fall. And I wouldn't block out and had to do too much. The same thing you get to see Dane, like, man, see that right hand get into his pads. You start to lift and see the defender get moved and even trying to use his left hand, which you go finish it right there. Pretty good. PB giving us a nice little knock, and same thing with Lamp, just straining through the inside and pretty good. Trying to remember, this one's on here. There's right guard finish. There's JC again, a little bit different gallop shuffle, but still knocking the ever living piss out of defender's hip. Coop trying to finish it off. Same hammer and strain and fight. JJ through the inside number, like really pretty good. And then now we're gonna try to get to the game tape piece of it. We got a lot of clips, so I'll probably have to speed up a little bit, but I hope through these clips of our run game, you kind of see some themes. One, just how vertical the running back is and how fast he's getting the line of scrimmage. Two, man, that our tackles, they can win versus immediate movement. I think that's the toughest thing is when D-line are slanting out, and really even tougher than immediate movements when they set you up and show outside for a step and then try to slant across your face. But because of the timing of hammer footwork, I think it helps you versus late movement and even guys trying to cross your face. Hopefully you'll see, man, if it's a 5 or a 3 and we're inside position, we got a chance to go win and see that more times than not. So obviously be some that aren't. I do think because of it being good versus movement, I kind of repeat myself, but I enjoy it versus pressure, man. Like I feel like it's what we do, really, especially like interior. Really, it's not mean pressure. It's not good versus. Probably shouldn't tell you which ones either. I'm sure somebody's listening, but I love what we do versus pressure, and I think it creates a lot of space, and you get to segment the defense come off, and especially too with the tempo piece of it. Worst case, man, you don't know where they're at or where somebody's gonna line up, go in inside, and it'll all work out. And I think too, because of the what we're doing, how vertical it is, man, we'll still end up with positive yards even when we make mistakes. Hopefully you'll see some physicality, and then us being able to read wherever we want to with the quarterback, that'll show up a little bit too. So, man, I don't know what to call this, where it's a thin personnel. Again, probably not duo. It's not the right word, and definitely not zone. But what you'll see is more in 2x2, and man, we've loaded box. Quarterback has to check us into a loaded box run, but he didn't like the tag to it. Basically, we're doubling the A gap to the mic in 2x2, and going to throw off. Have a tag that we like, that if it's loaded, we can throw, or he's got to check us into a loaded box run where we can read something. But it's kind of where everything starts. And this is the reason I say it's probably a little bit more dual-ish than it is anything else for us. Like the running back, man, he's reading that dude. So we're going to double the A-gap defender, and he fit off of that wherever he's at. And like the good and bad of this tape, like, man, don't like the second step of this tackle. I wish we could last a little bit longer on it. And man, if he just put in some effort to finish it off, that guy wouldn't be able to retrace. But because of how fast we're getting downhill and vertical, you don't have to win as long. I do like the right guard a lot better. That's 1-2. You see that right hand fit in there. He's fighting to go win position. Gives you a chance there. Same thing, center. This one went best, but like here, man, way too turned. This is absolutely crap rotten, man. You gotta bring your second step when you do that. In our scheme, what it does, it only gives the back one place to go, and you'll see as you go through it, there's a lot of times that balls end up bouncing. And that's what you need to have happen. Same thing with Nell here, man. Don't position block it. Stay square and drive through it. There's a reason we got our butt kicked in this game, because, man, we didn't do the little things right, and not what we want. But even when we do really, really poorly because of what we're doing with the back and where it's going, you can go win and get positive yards there. There's a bunch of clips from this game because it just kind of worked out that way when I was at UCF. But I think it's another good example of just, man, the space of where the defenders are at, and when you do pop it, he's got a chance to make one guy miss or run away from him. Thought this was a lot better here, like right guard trying to fight to go win inside center, stay as long as I can on it. Typically, you'd see the back if he fit here, trying to go opposite of him. I don't know where he felt that color and decided to stay through it or not, but I think that's a lot better than Big Ed fighting his ass off to go inside. There's a few of these as we go through it, but kind of sets up to a funny example here. Like even here, you tell Matt, man, don't come off yet. Like he's gonna make us right. He ought to bring the backer to us. You got time, man. Just keep pumping that nose to stay on him. The back's reading, man. He feels a fit. He goes right opposite of him. We're rolling. Again, you have to get into 4-1, make your adjustment off 4-2, but you can do it at tempo and do it really fast. And I think this is a good example of how it helps you. I talked about a little bit of a late stick. He's hitting it faster, but Sam 1-2 and driving to go win inside, man, the back's able to press it. He's not getting feet across his face. You can even say, running back, go and stick your foot and get vertical right now, versus the bad of like here, Tate, way too turn, not bring the second step. I think a lot of times guys don't bring their second step. That's where you get into trouble. We do allow the center. We talk about only rocking back if your backer pulls you over there, or in this place specifically, if I feel movement, I can rock back with it. So this is the setup to it. We kept burning them, and all of a sudden, I thought it was a good idea to play 2 eyes and 2 4 eyes, and man, I thought it was awesome. But we actually still got to see everybody take a big bite, step inside, let's go double to the mic. Doesn't really matter. All
Before you get
slides,
to the
he's got a
ball,
chance
turn
to
it.
keep it vertical. Back does a really good job making the miss. I thought this one by Sam, really good, man. Left, right, know where I'm going to take the back, getting strong on the outside hand again. Wish I did a better job of coaching to where we were pulling more of that left. But good job finishing there. Man, same thing, just how fast you can get north and south with what we do. And man, you look at here, we've gotten a lot of this lately and started getting better at it. But tackles, you feel that you feel that boundary safety, whoever it is, fitting, and you feel the defensive high, we actually start jumping and try to trap that inside number and just let him run up the field. That's kind of been our answer to that. But like I think coaching point wise, I talk about again getting vertical and these two working together. We call it a slot because it's kind of a funky combination, but it's still inside, right, left, vertical, going inside the big head. Like, man, you talk about years and years of, dude, you get here, just keep running vertical. Like if you lose back here, we're okay. Like it isn't going to matter. And had we broken it, that would have been the guy who could have gone and made the tackle if the guard would just keep on going vertical. Man, they got to come to you. We know where the back's going. He's sprinting straight ahead. Let's not do it to each other. Same thing. You'd love to see the tackle jump there. But I love the fight of Big Ed here. Man, 1-2 left hand and just fighting to stay square. Does not turn, gives the back a chance to press it and then make a cut. Again, I'd like to see him go get more vertical, but you can just see us doing kind of the same technique over and over and over. Probably need to speed up a little bit here. Here's a little shout to Hoods. This, my man, now the O-line coach over at South Florida, back in his playing days, just kicking the hell out of the nose there. A great example at right guard again. Footwork isn't perfect, but trying to go in and finish inside and and know where we want to go in is a big a part of it. Same thing here. Tackle, stay in square, keep fighting to win inside, keep fighting to win inside. The back will make us right. At some point, don't feel like I have to turn. Feel like, man, if I don't turn, I can go win. This is actually a fourth down for us, but another great example of space. And when you do split it, you got a chance to hit home runs and have explosive runs. And I think this year we led the country in rushing touchdowns, had like 39, man. So we're can run it, even though sometimes people don't always know that. Same thing here. Big Ed, man, love this guy. 1-2, second step at the crotch. I'd love to see his left hand actually be better. But the fight, the strain to go win inside. If I finish where I should, same thing you see, freaking right yard, trying to just go strain and win. And I know I don't sound highly intelligent doing this, but it doesn't have to be a real hard game, man. Go win between you, your man, and the ball. Thought this was a neat clip that, it's not my favorite in the 3 down, but man, we're all on the same page. The guards hammer and driving to go win inside. We're all almost wedging this way in the back presses, and he's able to pop out and get 5 or 6. And we'll do the same thing 3-by-1. Just now we know we're doubling to the B backer and throwing off the overhang here. There's gonna be some good and bad on this one too, man. Do this because that one takes a while to see it through the check. But here's my man K. Like, if you go back in time, and I know he would, and the first 2 great, now go fight. It don't matter, man. Strain to win inside. Like, we win, but boy, it ain't pretty enough. Is fairly decent on the sloppy. And now we're working in conjunction. I'd like to see Nell be a little bit better with his right hand, but these 2 are going to drive vertical, watching that defensive end. And just as long as I keep my eyes there, as soon as he's upfield, I can come off it. If not, I'm going to drive as vertical as I possibly can. But goodbye, Rome, winning on the inside there again. That's the flying cut block by Coop there. It's awesome. We drill that every day too. Same thing. This was like a 3rd down, but you just watch the space, and we're running as fast as we can this way, and that's how you get to the end zone. A lot, like they jumped in 2 3s and 5s, and everybody's got a few draws and everything. Man, just run through the inside number and run really fast towards the goal line. We'll do a motion. This is one where we know where we're ID to, and we're getting to the 3-by-1 just now, leaving the backfield. Loved this double, but these guys are living on it and trying to drive it vertical and go by the back, fitting off where the mic's fitting. I know they got us with the boundary safety, but we still got us, 5, 6, whatever it is. Left guard, fight and straighten it even more, man. Don't let it cross my face, and I can go in. And do love the determination of those guys to go move the pile. And even somebody asked about wide 5, like Nell, who's now so much more savvy this year. Shoot, he was way out there. You knew by his stance where he was going. Did let him step with his outside foot, so that was a good question. Did like this, man. You see the guard straining, man, I'm going to try to go inside and back. Quarterback actually did a really good job of setting us up here, and love the center. And I want to be as physical as I possibly can, but I have to know where to fight, where to go win. At the end of the day, when the ball was blown dead, he was in between his man and the ball. It was awesome. So kind of off of that's where our bread and butter play comes from. And it's just insert where, I won't put a crazy scheme, but where it's 4 down or 3 down, man, we're doubling first, for men on both edges, and we're inserting on the second. Basically ISO. And feel like, again, because of the repetition of stepping with our inside foot and the knowledge of where we're trying to get to, that you can get super vertical. And you can see, I don't know if I didn't put the wide here, man, when it does break, you're running so fast downhill. Probably been better if you kept speed, but you got a chance for him to be super explosive. Do like JJ, just know again, go finish there. We're shuffling, galloping. I wish our feet were a little bit more on the ground at the contact, but it kind of turned into a combination between the right guard and tackle there instead of center and the right guard. Good job pulling it over late. I wish Nell, like if I was coaching in here, again, where I want to go win inside number and figure it out. I felt like he was kind of on the wrong side of it at that point. Same thing, just how fast that thing is going vertical. Now the growth he made from year 1 to year 2, man, if he'll get to this point and then just go strain that way, that's an even longer run. Like that guy barely has a chance to even get there now. Man, he don't have a chance at all. Same thing, went from us comboing here. Now the guard and tackle kind of having the combination. Even Oliver here, shoot, man, if I just end up on between me and my man the ball, good things probably gonna happen. Same thing here. Like I love that you could see it in practice and you get to see Danger trying to lift that long arm from him, his footwork and shoulders staying square and really not turning until the defender turned him. Pretty good. JC coming back with it as it moves as well. And again, the center, like everybody knowing where the aiming point's supposed to be. And like, to me, that's as pretty as it gets it. And we're getting the ball. We're going here and I'm trying to get my win versus my guy right now. I just go finish at the very end. I wish Braggs, he's got so much better, man. You'd be shocked the way his looks in spring, but keep his feet in the ground, like stay with the base, not get up on his toes there. He ain't never gonna do that again anyway. So even here, this isn't completely their fault. This is my fault. I did a really poor job on the sidelines. We're so into tracking bodies, man. They went dime and they didn't feel him as a big body. But we got her fixed. Still the same. That's the reason JC, it looked funny. The center, he thinks they're working there. He just feels the flash of color. That's the reason he looks so chicken winged on it. But the cool thing is the sloppy over here again, probably to the extreme on a sloppy. But talk about two dudes knowing what you're trying to accomplish. And by the time the ball gets to their side, they are winning their individual battles together. And I don't know, if we're all on the same page, man, it'd be pretty freaking good. Win here, effort needs to be there's another good example. Just when it breaks, you got a chance for it to really break. That's probably the reason again we didn't win this game. Because we didn't play as good as we possibly could. These guys aren't really straining right now. They're winning with tempo, but man, I'm getting my face crossed right there. I'm getting my face crossed right there. Double JC's taking a big bite and denting the hell out of it. So that's not bad. Coop's getting his hat on the inside and winning. A little strained by those two, but we could have got to be better on the edge if we want to go win there. Do think again, talk about immediate movement. Man, this is about as immediate as it'll get out of the defensive end. And Nell's footwork here is a lot better. Wish he would have gained as much ground with that right foot. But if he'd be a little bit more lateral, the second step does go. His aiming point's good. His hands aren't great, but man, it gives him a chance to win versus the inside movement. There's some of those front door cuts talking about earlier when they happen. Not bad by Cade. Left, right, strength through inside number sheet, man. Not all bad. Same thing here. I think JC just knowing where we're trying to go, and again, we'd mix up like this combination. Sometimes we'd shuffle or gallop into it. Sometimes we'd big bite, kind of depending on that guy. Here we're big biting, but good knowledge of where to be, and man, able to go and win on the redirection versus the backer. Same thing, like it's not anything violent, but man, when the ball passes me, I'm in between my man and the ball, and we got a chance there at right tackle. Don't love Oliver's right hand there, right guard. That was pretty nasty. Really good. Here again, this us big biting into it on the A. I thought these two were working here in the center, feeling it and trying to bang off into the guard, and the guard doing a good job of flattening the 4-eye to him, and then still being able to just get a piece. That's actually harder than you want it to be. And same thing, like if you look through the tape, how much we've been able to be decent on offense and how much bad stuff shows up. We'd ever get that figured out, or we'd have a chance to be pretty good. I think here on the insert, and it's not